Okay, so it is 7 a.m. in Belfast on Sunday. I'm heading for the Dublin bus and it's freezing and there's nobody about, which is fun. Here we can see that it is Christmas time in Belfast, and this is what it looks like early in the morning with all the lights lit up and absolutely nobody around, and it's really peaceful and fun. It's so pretty at this time as well. Had a Greg's. Now that the scaffolding has come down off of Belfast Grand Central, we can see that it's kind of starting to take shape and look really nice. And it's got some pretty art and stuff, which is always nice in Belfast. Now on the bus to Dublin Airport. You can see that it's a foggy morning and it makes one yearn for the Italian weather. But yeah, it was kind of given like Silent Hill, which was very fun. Now arriving into Dublin Airport. I didn't get any footage at security or anything, obviously, because, yep. Ryanair being Ryanair, it has to have the furthest possible gate, so it's all the way over there that I have to trek. Airport snacks, of course. It took me longer getting to my damn gate than it took Odysseus to get home from Troy. Arriving in Naples, the airport was actually incredibly small and took me no time at all getting to the passport control. And the bus from the airport is only €5, but it was an incredibly bumpy ride, and also being thrown in at the deep end for how terrifying roads are in Naples. I thought Rome was bad. This is worse. I just feared for my life at more than one point. Arriving now at the port, my hostel is near here. Would you look at that? It's Christmas time here too. My hostel was Trick Track Hostel and the girl at the desk was really lovely. I've just arrived at my hostel and it's pretty decent, and I'm only in a four bed room instead of 8, but just look how high up this last bunk bed is. Like, that's my bed, a second bed with no mattress, and then a third one, the ladder up to it, and if you come up, the only thing keeping you from imminent death is this. I would fall and break my neck probably. There is a balcony, but I think other doors go out to it as well. That's quite nice if you're gonna sit and chill for a bit. The only issue is these need plugs and they're not USB, and I don't have an adapter, so I'm gonna need to go solve that problem. There are lockers for each person that we have the key to, which is helpful as well for safety. There were, however, so many stairs in this hostel. This is the rooftop bar. It was really nice, really cozy, and outside was very noisy. Piazza Municipio, where I got a McDonald's. There are loads of families about because the day after this was a holiday in Naples. I have my McDonald's looking over the Castel Nuovo. My favourite thing about Italy is all the random archaeology just like shoved in next to metros and buildings and stuff. Vesuvius should be right there, but you can't see it, it's too dark. with all the families about, this was also quite a bustling little amusement park here. Ending my night looking over the whole port. Can't see a lot here, but there was also lots of couples having romantic moments. Now into the next day. This was outside my hostel in the morning. We could actually see what's going on around us. I was on my way to Pompeii today. You can see through these streets the kind of impression Naples gives immediately, graffiti and trash, but it actually does redeem itself later on. This street, not this one, but the last one, gets very busy later in the day to the point where I didn't even get any footage of it, but enjoy it for now, as I did. Arriving at the Naples Garibaldi station because it's cheaper to get to Pompeii leaving from here. Thank God for these ticket machines so I don't have to speak terrible Italian. There's only €3.30 one way. It's actually the train to Sorrento that you get to Pompeii, so you could just continue on this train until you reach Sorrento, which I was tempted to do, but I didn't have enough time in the day. It was a nice, albeit slightly packed journey, but I got to see a good view of Naples from the train and also got to see Vesuvius coming into frame. Off the train, I met the locals here. Because I have online tickets, I have to walk 20 minutes this way. Although that train ride left me absolutely freezing, so it's kind of nice to be in the warm sun. You can see Pompeii up there. It's quite elevated from everything else. After an hour of having to get in, we're finally there at the Gladiators Ring, or amphitheater, as the actual word. This is the amphitheater of Pompeii. So, gladiator fights, all that traditional stuff. It's very dark in here. Can you hear the roars of the crowds yet? I don't know if it's the time or the season, but it's completely empty. Which is fucking class. Hear the bells? This is the brothel, which was my main reason for coming, and I got to have it all to myself for 15 minutes. Then we have the Temple of Apollo with the tough recreation of the center of the earth in the middle from Delphi. We are in the famous Forum of Delphi, which is the large open space with a beautiful view of Vesuvius in the background. The Forum, of course, in Roman times being the center of civic and social life. I feel like people always like taking pictures of the view with Vesuvius behind it, forgetting that this is on the other side. Like, look at that. That's a lot more mountain. Here we're standing in the Basilica of Pompeii. My extreme zooming of this is because you can actually see each individual brush stroke on the designs here because I was so close to it. more empty streets and me trying to imagine what it was like back in the peak of its day. One of these was open, so like serve food from here, go right back into hospitality. I'll walk to the far end of the whole map and you can see where the excavation just stops, but you can also kind of see that the city's not finished yet. Like this is still dead in the center of the city, so there'd be so much over that way, but they're waiting to excavate it until archaeology catches up and has better methods that allow for better conservation. What the fuck is that? Here you can see a good example of the multiple different stories that would have been on a lot of the buildings. You don't get that kind of sense from the other streets, but that one you do. Really cool mosaic here. Not mosaic. Oh fuck, whatever you call it. Here we visit the temple of Isis, who was the Syrian Egyptian god that was worshipped by the Romans. Is that the source of the vine? Okay, so I was so tired from Pompeii, I didn't do anything else today. I was thinking of going to the National Archaeological Museum, but it is 20 quid for non-EU citizens, so fuck Brexit, I guess. Once again, makes museum traveling very difficult. It's more frustrating if you have a friend with you who has an Irish passport. Thankfully I don't this time. I just came back. I've ended up having a nap for 3 hours. I tried to go up to the bar and have a drink, but it was kind of empty, and then they started playing TikToks through the loudspeakers. So I just came back to my room and I've been sitting watching YouTube. I don't think I like Naples all that much, and I just can't wait to get to Rome. Checking out my... On the final day, I basically had all day to walk about Naples and do whatever I wanted until heading for the train to Rome at 7. This church was really cool because those little columns at the front are remnants of an old ancient temple. Any suggestions as to what's going on here? Because I haven't a clue. It's a good example here of all the different like altars around Naples, and here's just a sad looking goose. I don't know, I thought it was funny. In this piazza, I randomly stumbled across just another bit of archaeology that's just in the ground, and after doing some googling I found out it's actually a Greek wall from when it was an ancient Greek polis, I came to the Museum of Torture. They wouldn't allow me to take videos, so I just have a bunch of pictures here. We have tons of fun old instruments like the skull crusher and many implements like this that are kind of just, here's awful ways women suffered throughout time and were tortured for simply existing. We have stockades of different sizes and shapes, so that looks like a violin. Branding tools here. Speculum, I'll let you work out what that one's for. Thumb crushers, which actually in some instances were used in courts of law in order to extract confessions under torture. Chastity cages, as one does. Knee crushers. Iron maidens, which actually weren't used for torture. A device that might make me taller if I tried it. This one's gruesome. They just keep feeding you water until your stomach, like, pops. As is the case with most Italian cities, there's a bunch of cool churches, so of course you have to go inside one. This one was interesting from an archaeological perspective because you can see quite prominently that there was an older version of the church and they built over it. It's most obvious at the altar. You can see as I zoom in that the main altar part is a very different style. Added into the whole facade. This church was damaged during World War II from bombs and they replaced a Gothic style with a Baroque one. I don't know why I find just plain unlaminated paper on stuck to candles funny when you look at how beautiful everything else in the church is. I really like these things. They were under every light in the church, these beautiful like paintings beneath the lights so that it illuminated them as you walk past. I've not seen anything like that in any of the other churches I've been to, so. There was a lot of these shops just selling books for like €2 or €3, and I really wish we had more stuff like that back home. I was thinking it's so interesting seeing all these old churches. I don't know if they actually are abandoned or if they just happen to be closed on that day. Everything in Naples has like a slight feeling of being abandoned because of all the graffiti and the trash outside of it, so I'm never sure. Really lovely view of Vesuvius from the middle of the city here. I was trying to get this footage to demonstrate just how crazy traffic is in Naples, and then realised immediately after I have to cross that fucking road. I decided for my last thing that I would do in Naples, I would take a metro somewhere where I could get a good view of the coastline from Amalfi and Sorrento, and most importantly I wanted to get a good view of Vesuvius over the water. So I just navigated the metro line to get there. This was a great idea because I feel like I actually got to see the nice part of Naples that wasn't covered in trash and graffiti. It's a very short walk to the coastline from here, or from the metro station that I got off at. Immediately after leaving, I realised that the second metro I took there stopped at 3 p.m. and it was exactly 3 p.m. then. So I had to walk all the way back to the main metro station, and I felt a little bit rushed. I know I had plenty of time, but it was scary. A quick touch to the Mediterranean. So to get to the metro station, I had to brave this underground tunnel, of which the footpath was so small, and even though the speed limit was 20 kilometers an hour, or was it 30, something like that, people are not going that speed, and I knew if I stumbled, if I tripped, if I fell, I would be fucking dead. So I felt like I was completing one of the labors of Hercules, just trying to get to my train. We passed the Castel Nuovo again, and we also see another hint of archaeological material in the metro station, as you do in Italy. Finally out of the station, get to be greeted by the Barbie store. There was this Christmas tree, and I actually asked my friend's Italian boyfriend when I got home what this was about, and I was right, you write something that you desire on it.